くよな。Hello everyone. Tonight I'm going to read you a little story time about a star. So feel free to close your eyes and just relax. こんばんはみな。今日の動画で英語ですよ。ちゃんと目を閉じて一緒にまったりしましょうか。Every evening, when the sun slipped below the horizon, the sky slowly came to life. One by one, the stars opened their sleepy eyes. Some sparked brightly, some twinkled softly, some barely glowed at all. But together, they painted the night with millions of tiny lights. Among them was a small little star named Lumi. Lumi loved the night time. Every evening, Lumi watched the ocean shimmer beneath the moon. The rivers looked like ribbons of silver. The forest became dark, peaceful blankets stretching across the earth. The tiny villages below glowed with warm windows before one by one. Their lights disappeared as everyone drifted to sleep. It was Lumi's favorite time of the day, but there was one problem. Every morning, after watching over the world all night, the stars became sleepy. One by one, they closed their eyes. One by one, they rested. Everyone except Lumi. No matter how hard Lumi tried, sleep never came. Lumi counted fluffy clouds. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lumi watched the moon and even listened to the gentle wind. But still, those little thoughts continued, floating around the leaves, dancing through the sky. I wish I knew how to fall asleep, Lumi whispered. The moon heard those quiet words. She had watched over the night for thousands of years. She had seen every star, every cloud, every dream. She smiled kindly. My little star, the moon said softly. Why are you still awake? Lumi sighed. I've tried everything. I've counted clouds. I've watched the stars. I've even listened to the wind. But my mind just keeps wandering. The moon nodded. A wandering mind isn't something to fear. It simply needs somewhere gentle to wander to. Lumi tilted toward the moon. What should I do? The moon pointed toward a tiny cloud floating across the horizon sky. Follow that little cloud. It never rushes. It doesn't worry about where it's going. It simply lets the breeze carry it. Lumi floated closer. The cloud moved so slowly that it almost seemed to stand still. Together, they drifted through the cool night air. There was no hurry, no destination, only the quiet sound of the breeze. As Lumi drifted beside the cloud, something wonderful happened. The stars nearby weren't trying to shine brighter than anyone else. They simply glowed. Softly, peacefully, comfortably. Each one was beautiful in its own way. Lumi smiled. Maybe I don't have to try so hard. The cloud did not answer. It simply continued drifting, drifting, drifting. Sometimes silence is the gentlest answer of all. Far below, the world became quieter. The last lights inside cozy homes slowly faded. The birds tucked their heads beneath their wings. The flowers folded their petals for the night. The trees stood peacefully in the cool evening breeze. Everything seemed to know exactly when it was time to rest. Lumi watched quietly. Without even noticing, Lumi's glow became softer, not smaller, not weaker, just calmer. Lumi took one slow breath. And then another. The night felt cool and gentle. The stars twinkled quietly overhead. The moon smiled from afar, and for the very first time, Lumi stopped worrying about falling asleep. Instead, Lumi simply enjoyed being still. Sometimes rest comes before sleep. Sleep follows when it's ready. And as the little cloud continued floating across the endless sky, Lumi followed close behind. One slow breath in one peaceful moment at a time. Lumi continued following the little cloud. The farther they drifted, the quieter the sky became. Soon they arrived somewhere Lumi had never seen before. It was a hidden garden, not on the earth below, not among the mountains, but high over the clouds. Tiny flowers made of starlight covered the ground. Their petals shimmered softly with silver and gold. Whenever the gentle breeze passed by, the flowers rang like tiny bells, not loud and not bright, just soft enough to make the night feel a bit more peaceful. Lumi floated closer. I've never seen this place before. The little cloud drifted in a slow circle, as if saying, "Welcome." Lumi carefully landed beside one of the glowing flowers. It felt warm, almost like sunshine, even though it was nighttime. Nearby, an old owl rested on a smooth stone. Its feathers looked as soft as fresh snow. Its eyes were kind and sleepy. The owl opened one eye. Oh, a visitor. Lumi smiled politely. Hello. I hope I'm not disturbing you. The owl chuckled. No one disturbs this garden. This is where tired hearts come to rest. Lumi looked over and around again. Everything felt calm. The flowers moved gently. Even the silence felt comforting. I wish I knew how to rest, Lumi admitted. The owl nodded. Many believe resting means doing nothing. But resting is much simpler. すいません But resting is much simpler. It means allowing yourself to stop trying. Lumi thought about those words. Stop trying. No one had ever said that before. The owl closed its eyes again. Listen. Lumi stayed perfectly still. At first, there was nothing. Then, very softly, the little star heard the flowers, not speaking, not singing, just gently swaying in the breeze. The sound was almost impossible to hear. A soft shh. It reminded Lumi of waves rolling on a quiet beach. The little star took another slow breath. Then another. Without thinking, Lumi's shoulders relaxed. The breeze passed by. The moon watched quietly. Around them, the stars sparkled gently, and below them, the world was sleeping peacefully. For a long time, no one spoke. There was no need. Sometimes the quiet says everything. Lumi looked up at the sky for the first time. It didn't seem endless. It felt comforting, like a warm blanket stretching across the universe. The little cloud drifted a little farther, and the owl smiled without opening its eyes. I think the owl whispered, "You're learning." "Learning what?" Lumi asked softly. "How to be still." Lumi smiled. Maybe that was enough for tonight. The little star closed its eyes, just for a moment. Not for sleep, not to chase a dream, simply to enjoy the peaceful night. And the garden above continued to glow. Softly, gently, waiting for every tired traveler